Hi everyone. This week I am struggling with the readings that we've had because they really are making me. They're calling out my biases, um, and that's fantastic and that's wonderful. But it's also making me squirm, which is great. But so by biases, I mean sometimes I have a personal bias against cisgendered, heterosexual white men. Um, and that can be a problem when you work at a PWI, a primarily white institute. Um, because there's a lot of them on campus, and it is a significant population that um, I must not forget about when programming at the Pride Center. Um, but I don't want this population to govern what I do. I don't want this population to be the primary focus of what I'm doing at the Pride Center. Um, the Cultural Center readings this week talked a lot about social justice work, and it was very reminiscent to me of the radical work that has been done in the past that has shaped who we are as social justice workers. Um, Now I have to constantly remind myself that not everybody is as radical as I am, and that's okay. But um, I also have to remember that my my radical thinking is what has brought me here. Um, so I'm sorry, I'm kind of struggling. Um, some things that I think that we should work on at the Pride Center in regards to working with cisgendered heterosexual white men slash cisgendered heterosexual populations is I think we need to work on education around I think we need to do allyship training, which is something that we're already doing. So I'm really excited to see that. I think we need to facilitate other learning, so learning outside of the Pride Center. So if we can decentralize ourselves and make ourselves more like if we can decentralize our work at the Pride Center, so it's not always at the Pride Center, if we can get ourselves into the residence halls and into the Greek communities and into the sports communities and start to facilitate growth there, I think that would be fantastic. And if we can incorporate their voices in a way that is productive and not dominating, or not if we can incorporate their voices without losing voices of queer people of color and non-monosexual identities, then that would be fantastic. This week also made me question, or I guess this week brought up the ideas of ethics within within the cultural centers, and I thought that was fantastic. One thing that at the end of the readings of Students Helping Students, it asked to find 5 of the principles that were most important to you and kind of explain why. And so the first ones that I found were important were to acknowledge your limits, and I think that is constantly important in what we do, because sometimes I know myself, I find myself thinking that I'm Superman and that I can do anything. And that I need to check that and know that I can't do everything, and that's okay, and that's perfectly okay. The next one that I found to be incredibly important that I take full advantage of is knowing when to consult. And we have fantastic resources here on campus we have fantastic resources which I intend to utilize as often as I can because once again, I know I'm not Superman, so I know I can't do everything. The next one was understand your own personal biases and when you place it on other people, and that's something that I've been talking about earlier in this video. It's that I have a lot of biases, and I need to check that, and I need to remember that these biases are my own and that I should not impose them on anybody else. The next one is that I need to remember that I'm a role model, and so, and I think that I find this incredibly important because it goes hand in hand with checking my own biases, and that I need to be conscious of what I'm saying and the impact of what it is that I'm saying. And I think that's why I'm having such a hard time with this video, is because sometimes when you're talking about biases, it's really easy to go into kind of an angry, attacking mode about talking about biases. At least it's easy for me to. But I want to be able to talk about my biases in a constructive manner. And then the last principle is to maintain integrity and not to promote hearsay, and that's just because I love to gossip. I love to know the tea, and I love to spread it. And that's something that I really need to stop doing. So those were the 5 principles that I found to be incredibly important. I'm already at 6 minutes, so I'm going to stop before I say something that, before I start digging holes for myself, because I feel like that's what I'm about to do. So my question to y'all, and if y'all can respond to this, or if y'all want to have dialogue with me around this, that would be fantastic, is how do you maintain your biases within yourself and not impose them on other people? Because I know that all of us within the Cultural Resource Center community have personal biases against certain situations or certain actions or people. And how do you approach these biases and make them constructive? So that's a really deep question and a really hard one, and I would love to be able to unpack that with other people. So yeah, feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think. And as always, please have open dialogue with me. Okay, so toodles, I'll see y'all on Friday. Bye!